Welcome back to another episode of the Nancy Levin Show. If you are listening in real time, we are just about to cross the threshold into 2025. And as we move into a new year, I know so many of you are looking at New Year's resolutions. However, I'm going to offer you a twist. I invite you to instead identify your New Year's non-negotiables. When we think about resolutions, first of all, they have a sneaky way of setting us up for failure. They feel restrictive. They feel like a long list of things that we should do. And let's be honest, we all may have the best intentions on January 1st. And then by the time we get to February, we feel discouraged. And those resolutions tend to feel more like punishments. And this is why I'm offering you a different approach. Non-negotiables, on the other hand, are practices, rituals that make you feel alive and nourished and fulfilled. They are the things that light you up. Non-negotiables are about supporting your growth and joy in ways that are exciting, not exhausting. So let's look at what this might entail for you. First, I invite you to ask yourself a simple question. What are the practices or rituals that enliven you? What practices or rituals allow you to inhabit yourself fully? That's the place to begin. You want to begin crafting your New Year's non-negotiables from a place of what excites you, what lights you up. And then from there, we can begin to move into what you want to let go of in order to make space for more of what you want. So when we're looking at non-negotiables, I want to remind you, they don't need to be big. They don't need to be time-consuming. They don't need to look like anyone else's. They can be simple and they're just for you. The key is consistency. So because so many of us tend to go into a new year with a long list of things we want to do or accomplish, we forget to ask ourselves, what do I need to let go of in order to make space for what truly matters? And so this is where I'm going to introduce you to a concept called incompletions. Incompletions are the lingering projects, unresolved tasks or situations, unfinished business that weigh us down. So these could be things like unfinished work projects or clutter in your home, or even relationships that no longer align with who you are or who you're becoming. And so as we step into 2025, I invite you to take stock. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? What can I release to create more space for what lights me up? Because ultimately, here is the permission slip I want to hand you today. You have permission not to finish everything you've started. You do not have to cling to old, outdated commitments that no longer feel alive for you. This is not about earning a medal for endurance. It's about honoring your energy and freeing yourself for what truly matters. So if we take this a step deeper and we talk about non-negotiables, what we're really talking about is returning to the essence of who you are, rediscovering the truth of who you've always been. And that is going to take some self-inquiry. What do I want? What do I need? What do I feel? What lights me up? These are the kinds of questions that can help you identify your non-negotiables. They're not about what others expect from you or what you think you should do. They're about reconnecting to you. And so in the new year, I want to hold you in knowing that you are worthy of setting aside intentional time for you to reconnect with you through your own non-negotiables. Your worth and value is not tied to how much you do, how much you give. It's not tied to how many boxes you check off. Your value is tied to how willing you are to listen and love yourself. So as you begin crafting your non-negotiables, I invite you to start small. I think back to when I attended a silent meditation retreat in Thailand. In fact, I shared my 2-part experience of that journey recently on the podcast. So you can go back and listen to those 2 episodes. When I was there, we didn't begin with hour-long meditation sessions. We started with 5 minutes. Just simply 5 minutes of sitting, 5 minutes of walking. And then each day we added a little more. And by the end of the retreat, I was meditating for an hour at a time. The same principle applies here. Don't overwhelm yourself by setting a big, unattainable goal. Instead, ask yourself, what is the smallest action I can take today to feel more connected to myself? It's all about micro actions. 5 minutes of meditating, 5 minutes of journaling, 5 minutes of meditating, 5 minutes of journaling. Maybe it is simply a walk around the block. Maybe it is simply sitting quietly with your coffee, looking out the window before the day begins. Whatever it is, let it be small and manageable, because this is how you set yourself up for success. So as we set our sight into 2025, let your non-negotiables be your anchor. They're not just practices or rituals. They're actually declarations of your worth and your value. Your willingness to intentionally take time for you sends a clear message to the universe and everybody else that you are prioritizing your own needs and you're giving yourself permission to put your needs first. Your practices, your rituals, these declarations of your worth, they're how you show up for you day after day in ways that feel joyful instead of punishing. So as we step into 2025, I invite you to ask yourself, what lights me up? What will I say yes to this year that supports my highest good? What am I willing to let go of in order to create space for my joy? Because what I want for you more than anything is for this to be your year of saying yes to you. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And here is to crafting your year of non-negotiables and living in alignment with what lights you up. And until next time, please remember you are worthy of giving yourself permission to put yourself first.
Thanks so much for joining me today. I invite you to head on over to nancylevin.com to check out all the goodies I have there for you. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a rating and a review. I'll meet you back here next week.